Today we're going to the Nyanyano area. We understand some of our stories are getting some results, and residents are excited about the fact that a contractor has moved to site in response to a publication made earlier to help, if you like, dress up the road, bring some rehabilitation to the roads in the area. Here is a report by our Central Regional Correspondent, Akwesi Ado.
The deplorable nature of the road hampered the movement of goods and people, particularly during the rainy season. Apart from not being able to meet their daily sales, commercial transport operators also had their revenue mostly channeled to maintenance of their vehicles. Drivers say the construction of the road has come at the right time.
Especially in Suta, more insulating, so more plant. My car has so, and it was a science and China a week into a more year about one of crime brace. The best room of passes is here or my margins on Bayano. More moon or more yamay.
The award of contract comes after repeated reports by ChannelOne TV. Some residents of the community could not hide their joy by authorities.
You did home come off first, and they are there. I dream, papa, now. Say, Yamia, dominance and they were Babaya or Hinijism. Near Shosudania, Obi Bianson, over to me a year rude in Ama Gumwayano. Na aye enija maye
ndazi yenyu aje papa ba ya shim de on ye de nkan zina wo ba start na wo ba sanda makrani ye ko market ye bre pa bi mu se obi mpo nya case na so onye ko hospital na wo refer na ehun de wo bransa na we kodu bi mu mpo won kwafi wonsem.
Opinion leaders believe the construction of the road will revive collapsed businesses and also save residents from diseases.
Sayasha, Mfuntuma, no bogu, especially on road in left side, no, or papa, and drivers and complain bebre. Once I mean there, I bring na bribiano, cars and say, ma.
Traditional leaders of Nyanyano could not hide their joy and expressed gratitude to ChannelOne News for highlighting their challenge.
What they call ChannelOne and City News, I mean, their reportage, what they did, and I believe has yielded such result, and we commend them. The road which we've been talking about it for years has finally been given to contract.
However, they have called on government to ensure that all financial obligations are honored in order to prevent a similar situation that occurred some years back when construction of the road came to a complete halt.
We are saying that it shouldn't be like before, which they like they give the contract to a contractor and no money given to the contractor. I mean, it will stall the progress of the road. So they should, as they have said, it's been given to contract, it must be on record so that they will start it and finish it.
The Member of Parliament for the Gomoa East constituency, Desmond de Graft Paytu, assured that all necessary fundings will be provided in time to ensure a smooth construction process.
This road, the contractor who has come to construct it, I can assure you, he will finish and he will be paid. He will not run away like those one who just ran away. So I want the chiefs to be rest assured, as I told them, that this road has started today, tomorrow, or any other day. So shall it be completed under the administration of John Mahama.
It's a report by our Central Regional Correspondent, Akwesi Ado, regarding the state of the road and, of course, the response to the call that was put out by the residents and chiefs of the Nyanyano area. Jude, I don't know, this issue of road infrastructure and the challenges that accompany it. We've seen some level of construction across the country, but it looks like if I can put it that way, relegated about 98% of our transport system to road transport. And so the road challenges will not be going away anytime soon.
You're right. I mean, I was at the Ghana Railway Development Authority early this week on Wednesday to, cover a story where they outdoored a new master plan for, railway development and the movement of trains. And it will interest you to know that there was one done in 2020, which was supposed to take a 5-year, course for actualization. Now, according to Dr. Frederick Apo, who is the managing director of the Ghana Railway Development Authority, that master plan by the previous administration was not fit for purpose. So a new one had to be redesigned. Now, two things here. It brings to the fore again issues around continuity, right? It also brings to the fore issues around, stakeholder engagement, because how are we now seeing that a master plan developed back then wasn't fit for purpose? What was the level of consultation made? Like, who did they speak to? Who came up with the idea? Because mind you, state resources was used to come up with that.
Indeed.
Meetings would have been held, city allowances would have been paid, all of that. The point I'm really making is that there is enormous need for alternative transport, right? So for example, if you had an active railway system, would ease the burdens for not only residents in Nyanyano, but of course the capital and beyond. So we'll see how this new master plan goes.
And even extend the lifespan of the roads when they are constructed.
Absolutely, because one reason why the roads get to or tend to deteriorate early is because you have a lot of heavy cargo moving on this.
Exactly, heavy vehicles.
And one of the usefulness of trains is that it's a conveyor belt for these cargos, right? So it's not far-fetched at all. It is there's a direct linkage, so hopefully we can explore that. We get the experts
and not to digress or even take away the conversation from the roads, but on the railway bit, the authorities were in the western region to commission some trains to facilitate cargo transport from that end to the port. And guess what? I keep saying that the Ghanaian mind there, we need to commission it for study. Somebody needs to take a Ghanaian mind, a brain out of a Ghanaian head and study it, because I can't understand how we think as a people. Do you know that when they got there, people have stolen cables from the fixed trains and fuel from the reservoirs?
That's not the only shocking bit of it, right? So I in fact, I asked the managing director of the Ghana Railway Development a question directly on issues around attacks to railway
infrastructure.
And personnel. Infrastructure and personnel. And it was like, see, it's one of the biggest challenges they're facing now. In fact, he mentioned that their personnel were stoned. One almost lost their life. He talks about the fact that people deliberately try to derail a train. Of course, there are bigger issues. So what really tends to happen is that when the railway is constructed, these are people's lands. We know the land tenure system in this country, right? And sometimes, there's this whole thing about project affected persons, right? So the due compensation is sometimes so enormous that they are not paid. So people, and of course, Mr. Government will have its way anyway. You get it? Because if government is bent on doing something, it's only the states that can stop the state from doing what it wants to do. Because the full power, the full force of the state is behind the state.
Exactly.
So the state will still go ahead whether or not compensation has been paid. And people feel aggrieved. Right, but of course, it's important to reiterate that if you are aggrieved about the state of an issue, be it compensation or whatever, the best resort is not to attempt to derail a train. So you're right; it's a mindset problem that we need to cure, and I don't know how we can cure this.
It's serious.
Other than
see
through
the DMT
education.
that they recently operationalized that travels from Accra to Afenya to Mpakadan. People are stoning the DMT. That's the diesel multiple units, the DMUs, the diesel multiple units. People are stoning the train when it is in motion. I went on a tour on that train, and you can see people visibly crossing the rail line when the train is coming.
So it's also an education problem, right? Because we're in this country, someone went to park a bus,
a
truck in the middle of, you don't even know what the intent is, right? But there's also enforcement. So again, the railway director said that they were going to liaise with the police for some kind of security along. He talked about the fact that they were also going to build fences, right, along these major railway tracks from Tema to Mpakadan. We'll see how that works. But yes, the point was to underscore the importance of railway as an alternative means to road transport. But Nyanyano is an area I know very well.
Okay.
You know, the Member of Parliament, Desmond Paytu, he's been quite vocal about the state of the roads for some time, particularly under the previous administration. He's an NDC Member of Parliament.
First timer?
No, he's been there for, I think, his second or third time. And it would interest you, right? The Nyanyano area is where the Church of Pentecost has arguably Ghana or probably even West Africa's biggest convention center in terms of a religious organization, right? And the kind of people the area draws on an annual basis will surprise you. Because what I do know for sure is that annually the church holds what it calls, for example, Global Ministers Conference for so many people from all walks of lives, right, from the continent, like everywhere come to the country. They use that stretch. Now, beyond the Church of Pentecost, which is arguably one of the country's biggest churches, other groups, in fact, even this country, when we had a COVID crisis, the Pentecost Church gave out this place as a treatment center, you know, during the COVID crisis. I know for a fact also that other groups, you know, multinationals, international organizations, use this Pentecost Convention Center as a retreat center, as a conference grounds for like so my point is that a lot of people go there. It's become an international place, take it or leave it, right? So you'd have expected that governments would be minded about the state of roads over there. And also, you know, we talk about how congested the Kaswa enclave has become, you know, and if you look at the setup of the area, Nyanyano is like sort of on the outskirts, right? And it's a developing area. When you go there, you see that like people are building, houses are springing up. It's quite a nice place, you know, in terms of like the views, you know, and all of that. So I would have expected that in an attempt to decongest Kaswa, you know, and open up the space, Nyanyano would have provided an alternative in terms of how other people can settle, so we free up Kaswa from, you know, all of the congestion then, you know, which also then
is there available land?
There is.
And then people will also consider the distance from the city center.
Yes, so
markets.
then if you fix the road, you realize that it's actually not even that far. Right.
It reduces your travel time.
Exactly the point. And again, the congestion issue in Accra, in Kaswa, I beg your pardon, is one of the reasons we hear for all of the bad press Kaswa faces. So every now and then we read in the news, sometimes it's not even Kaswa, but you know, a fourth so they say, oh,
they say Kaswa.
They say Kaswa, right?
Yeah.
So
the Utu Senya East MC is so not happy with that.
Exactly. But you know, you can't really fault him. So I feel like if you open up other areas like Nyanyano through fixing the roads, you incentivize more people to relocate there. The space is opened up. You know, and we are better for it as a people. So I think this is great news that government is working on fixing the road. The president said he would turn the country into
a construction site.
But
we should look at the economic returns this will bring to the area as well. I mean, look at the videos, and if you count 10 cars, 6 are commercial vehicles. These commercial vehicles or their drivers have sales to make. But they will complain about the damage to parts of their vehicles plying the road in the state in which it is. So if the road is fixed, then the frequency of their visits to the mechanic or
reduced.
to Abusukan is reduced. And this is
they
money
make
saved.
savings on their income.
Exactly.
So that is how come then people will refrain from the narrative of, well, inflation is down, but I'm not seeing anything. You know, because at the end of the day, if they still have to travel on bad roads, they will spend more at the mechanic.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. So all other indicators that need to come together for, if like the realities to be felt in your pocket need to be in place, and it needs to be aligned so that you're able to benefit of it. If the road is fixed and we are cutting food, say, from that area to the capital, it reduces the cost of transportation and ultimately the price of the food when it reaches the market. So I think it's really important that some level of work is being done on the road However, sustainability is very crucial in this matter. And one problem I have is that our roads appear to be all size fits all. So, I mean,
You can't differentiate
you have
between a
all manner of
high
vehicles
and
plying all types of roads.
Aboboya. Is it right now? There's a new one called keke.
Keke.
Yeah.
Keke na pep.
Yeah. You know, but is that difference between the keke and the prajia?
It's confusing me. I feel it's the same thing, but it's just that it has different names in different areas.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing, but it's called differently based on the area that you are.
Yeah.
But I think we have our Central Regional Correspondent, Akwesi Ado, on the lines. Akwesi, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Chufo and Jude. And
Good to
thank
have you.
for having me.
Good to have you. Good to have you. So this rehabilitation we're seeing now is based off of a report that you filed earlier. So how much of a relief does this bring to the residents and the people of the area?
Okay, thank you, Nana. Let me say that the people or residents of Nyanyano and the other communities like Kojoku, Dawa, Kakraba, and then the rest are really happy because this would really bring relief to them. It's been a long time coming. The people have really been crying about the state of this road for a very long time. And then finally, we've had a contractor coming on site to begin construction works on the stretch. And so the people are really glad that when they called on ChannelOne News, we responded and then highlighted the challenge which has drawn the attention of authorities.
So give us an idea of the stretch. Where is it starting from and how long is it?
So the entire stretch starts from Kaso around the roundabout, the main roundabout, and then a section of the road from the Kaso roundabout to Fijai Junction was constructed somewhere around 2021. But the construction was stalled from 2021, and then nothing has been done on the road until now. And so from Fijai Junction to the Nyanyano Township proper, which is about over a 3 kilometer stretch, a little over 3 kilometer stretch, is in a very deplorable state. And just that 3 kilometer stretch is really impeding smooth commuting in the area. Traders were finding it difficult to cut their produce from Nyanyano to the market center in Kasua. We do know that Nyanyano is a fishing community, and then there are a section of the residents who are engaged in agriculture as well. And there is a salt mine also in the community. And so the people were really finding it difficult to cut their produce or resources to Kasua and other market centers. And then again, there are some tourist facilities in the area. People were finding it difficult to access these facilities. And businesses on the stretch were really suffering. Those who run hospitality agencies, they suffered the most because nobody would want to lodge in an apartment that is filled with so much dust. And so it's nearly collapsed most of the businesses along the stretch. And so it's the reason the traditional leaders and the people of the community kept wailing over the condition of the road, Nana.
We were just talking about the economic impact of roads, and it's important that you've touched on it. I mean, this enclave will serve as an exit from the Greater Accra region into the Central region, is it not?
Exactly.
Right.
So that area, you know, it's located along the coast. So you can from Nyanyano, there's a road that can link you to Gomwafete.
Right.
But that road has also not been constructed. So what it is now is that if someone wants to commute from Nyanyano to, let's say, Winneba, the person would now have to circumvent through Kasua and then use the N1 highway. But if the person was to use the Gomwanyano, Gomwafete, hit Ojobi, and then Jahadze, the person would have reached Winneba long ago. But now it would take you about 2 hours to commute from Nyanyano to Winneba, a journey that would have taken you just about 30 or let's say 35 minutes if you were to use that alternative route we're speaking about. And so even though this main road is being constructed, the people are also pushing that steps are being taken to connect Nyanyano to Gomuafete so that they can easily commute within that area.
So in the states that this road was prior to the arrival of the contractor, did the people have an alternative, and what's the state of that alternative road?
There is no alternative route.
There's no alternative?
Yes,
Wow.
From Nyanyano to Kaswa, it's just a straight route. There's no other alternative.
Wow. So they had to deal with the difficulty of traveling the same road on a daily basis.
Exactly. And on Monday, when we engaged the residents, there's this woman who told us that, Gomonyanyano do not have, the community does not have any befitting health facility that can attend to some cases. And so when it requires that a patient would have to be transferred to Kaswa, then it became difficult for them. Because at night, especially when it has rained, no driver would want to ply that particular route. And so this woman was telling us there are instances where people have died on the stretch due to the fact that they struggled in, getting transport to convey that patient to the health facilities in the Otusenya Eastern Cliff. And so this particular road, when fully constructed, would really bring great relief to the people of the community, Nana.
So far, I picked two important things from the conversation: the impact on the economy, and this will have to do with hospitality facilities along the stretch, and then also I picked that of health and the impact of the poor state of the road on health, the absence of, if like, a proper health facility in the area, the distance patients would have to travel to seek health care, and the refusal of drivers to commute on the stretch, especially when it rains. But I want to look at commercial activities also on the stretch. And let's start off with the drivers who ply the stretch. What are their daily concerns when you speak to them?
So their daily concerns are that, one, they spend longer minutes than usual on the stretch. And then two, they have to be constantly changing parts of their vehicles. And so every now and then they would visit the mechanic. And they told me that it is really eating away their revenue, because whatever they generate would now have to be diverted into vehicle maintenance. And so some of them, especially at night, resort to increasing their transport fare because they may want to recoup what they might have lost through maintaining their vehicles. And so during rush hours, they also take advantage and then charge extra fare.
Wow. We also know that the Nyanyano area, in my intro conversation with Nana Tufo, holds some very huge edifice, right, including the Church of Pentecost Convention Center. Are there any other tourist attractions in the area?
There are quite a number of them. So the convention center is actually located in Gomuafete, but it is in the same enclave. Because if you want to go to Yesu Krom or Millennium City, where the
where's that Yesu Krom
is situated, yes,
Jesus' hometown. But Jesus was born in Bethlehem.
Now he's too opted to join the
Yesu Krom.
So if you want to visit Yesu Krom, that is the Church of Pentecost Convention Center. You would still use the Kaswa Nyanyano stretch, and then you take a turn at Millennium Junction. So what is it is that if I am coming from Nyanyano to the convention center, and if there is an alternative that has been properly constructed, like the one that links Kojoku and Dawa, or the one that links Gumuafete, I may not have to hit the Kaswa enclave before going to Yesu Krom. I would just use the Nyanyano Gumuafete road, just take a turn, and then reach the convention center. And if the road is properly constructed, it will take me less than 10 minutes to journey from Nyanyano to Yesu Krom. But because that road has not been constructed now, it will take me about 45 minutes to get there.
Amazing. Can you also share with us, right, for from the point of view of the contractor, what were their issues they had prior to the fixing of the road?
So,
and has it been resolved?
So this is a new contractor that has been brought in to construct the road. This is just more. Previously, I knew that somewhere 2015, 16, it was Sapato that was working on that stretch. And then there was a review of road contracts by government in 2017. Then the construction stalled. So I do not know whether it was Sapato that came back on site to officially construct the road or it was another contractor. But I do know for a fact that this is a new contractor who has been awarded the contract to work on the road. And this is just more. And what we are hearing is that the previous contractor could not finish the work because of lack of payment from government. So he worked up to a certain point, raised certificates, but he wasn't paid, and so he also decided to abandon site completely.
Wow. Thank you so much for your time, Akwesi Ado, who is our Central Regional Correspondent, offering us very important insights to this conversation.
Well, we do have their Ankobia Hene for Nyanyano, that's Nana Ayi Kwe, joining us to shed more light on this particular, or this developing story. Nana, good morning and thank you so much for your time. Hello, Nana. Hello, Nana. Good morning. Well, we'll work the lines and get to Nana Ayi Kwe, the Ankobia Hene of Nyanyano, to speak to this issue of road infrastructure, especially the road network in the Gomua Nyanyano area. But like I sought to do earlier, you see, when you have the conversation and you generalize everything, you miss out on the actual impact. That's why I sought to break it down: the health impact, the economic impact, the social impact, and everything. Imagine school children who have to wake up early. You have to wake up at about 4 a.m. because now a journey that would take you about 30 minutes should take you would now take you about 1.5 hours due to the poor nature of the road. And it's difficult for me to have children at certain ages having to wake up before their normal waking up time.
It's even unfair to them.
It's unfair to them. And you see, they'll go to school stressed already mentally. So they're only to consume as much what the teacher will be teaching.
So they're already tired before
exactly. And they will be tagged, they will be branded, they will be mocked, they will be punished. But it is no fault of theirs. They're in their formative years and they are being subject to hard, tough situations due to the poor nature of the road. The parent will have to travel from that area, perhaps works in Accra, and so has to set off early. And by virtue of that, the child will also have to wake up early to go to school. And it's difficult.
There are deep-rooted problems with this.
Exactly. So we don't. Sometimes we just think about the road, and the road is bad and less, but we forget to look at the socio-economic impact of a bad road and how it affects people who travel that road, people who live in the area. Imagine a food vendor, a wachi seller, tabletop wachi seller around such a place. The level of dust that will go into the food.
And that's a big problem for people along, the roads that are in this state, right? I remember doing a similar story at the Botiano Aplaku Road, 024. It was bad. And you're talking about hundreds of people, right? Somebody had to stop the cold store business because by the time she brings the produce, the meat.
Yeah. So dusty, very unattractive.
And
looks
people
so unhealthy.
Actually stopped buying from her. So she closed down her shop. There was this pure water seller who now had to go somewhere else to go and sell. There was this other dress, boutique seller. So the impacts are enormous. That's why we expect government to work. But you also realize that there's a big problem, right, in this country, or particularly during the last administration. So many of the road projects stalled because we were being told that the domestic debt exchange program and of course the subsequent IMF negotiation meant that government needed to pause on capex, right? So all of these projects that were capital intensive, especially the roads, they had to stop and relook at the books. So my concern is that I think Governance Kwame Agboja has started off to a very good start. He seems to understand the sector he's been placed in, and for me, that's even like welcoming news already. But beyond that, we need
He's a built environment person, right?
Absolutely.
An architect.
An architect, yeah. Built environment. I'm not really sure what his specialty is.
I think he's an architect.
But he understands the sector.
The sector.
Hence, you can't take that away from him.
Yeah.
He
was on the Roads Committee of Parliament?
Absolutely. I think he was even ranking member, you know, and, you know, he understands the sector, like I'm saying, knows the roads off head, knows the challenges across each sector or each road. So we give him credit for that. What we'd also expect is that going forward, we need a clear financing model for
indeed
how all of these projects are going to be financed. Some of them are World Bank projects, so the structure is already there. Some of them are government of Ghana, you know, but we know that we know there's
do you know why I'm laughing? Contractors will tell you that avoid GOG funded projects, go for donor funded projects, because that one the money is assured.
You see. So these are some of the stereotypes I need this government to break. But I can't really fault them. Government to start well, then in an election year everything goes overdrive. Why? Because they need to maintain a certain vote base, and if that vote base is now calling for roads, calling for hospitals, calling for, you know, they tend
and that's
to
why we
spend
need to depoliticize our national development.
Thank you. Others have said that maybe a fiscal policy,
which
you
is
know, which is
binding.
already in place is there, but nobody pays attention
Because it's
to
not
it.
binding.
So
It's
an
not
enforcement
binding.
problem, right?
Exactly.
We'll
Let's
see
go
how
back
it
on the
goes.
phone lines. Let's speak to Nana Ayi Kwe, the Ankobia Hene of Nyanyano. Nana, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Great. It's good to have you. Now, even before we discuss the road, I've sat in a conversation that, excuse me, but it's actually discussing your name and your title. They are wondering why a Nana is an Ayikwe and not a Ni Ayikwe. So if you can help us with a little bit of education.
Nana, the name is Nana Ayikwe.
Ayikwe.
Of Nyanyano.
Very well. So, I mean, the conversation around it is that most people were expecting it to be a Ni Ayikwe and not a Nana Ayikwe. So, if you can help us with some small education around it.
Seriously, that's not what we are here for. Yeah, but
very well.
The name, Nana Ayikwe.
Nana Ayikwe. Nana
Yes.
Ayikwe and Kobe Ahene of Nyanyano.
Appropriate time we will discuss about that one.
Very well. Now, take us through this road situation and the difficulty it posed and what your expectations are regarding the movement of a contractor to sites.
Yeah, thank you very much. We spoke with you on your network that's a week ago.
Yes.
About the road. I mean, difficulty in, you know, applying the road and all of that. But fortunately for us, that very day, last week, in the, let's say around 3 p.m., the MPE, Nana Akom, and the contractor called us and told us they are coming, they are coming to start work on the road. That same day.
Right.
So we quickly organized ourselves and met with them at the palace. You know, so everything was done. We went to the road to do some, you know, traditionally there are a few things you need to do and all of that. So we went to the road and we did whatever we need to. It has to be done. So the following day, the following working day, that's Monday, the contractor was on the road, started working, and what a joy to be for the road to be fixed. I mean, we are very much happy, and this all, I would say, it's part of City News and then Channel TV, their reportage. Based on that this thing has been, the road has been granted to contractor, and it's working. As I speak with you, they are working on the road. Yeah. So in fact, all of us, everyone at the place is very happy, you know, about the situation. Yeah.
What kind of assurances have you been given? Because we understand a contractor has been on this road before and then abandoned it. So what kind of assurances have you been given regarding this particular contractor and whether or not the project will be completed entirely?
Yes, we did talk about that. And fortunately for us, the MP also came around on, I think, 3 days ago or so. Yeah, also confirming that the road has been given to contract. But meanwhile, before he came, the contractor has been on the road, started working on the road, fixing the gutters, the broken one and all of that. And in fact, we told them, this road has been given to contract before, and it was stopped. For whichever reasons, we cannot say it now. So we asked them, we don't want situation whereby the construction will be stopped and the road will not be completed. And every assurance was given to us by the MP, assurance given to us by the MCE, and even the contractor that they are going to finish the road, including the one from Nyanyano to Dawa end. Yeah, that one they have not done it before. So it's a new contract they are going to do. So it's also part of the contract they are going to do on the road. Yes. So they have, in fact, given us the assurance that they will not stop anything as they have started. Will stop only when they have completed.
Wow. I can clearly tell the excitement of this project to the people of Nyanyano. But beyond...
Now, if you have to say, in fact, I cannot express my...
You can't quantify the excitement, right? Hopefully it lasts long enough and the roads are actually fixed.
Yes.
But you know, we also know that when some of these road projects are being done, there are other ancillary works that government would usually also work on, right? Do you know the full scope of the project, and are we to expect any add-ons in terms of what is being constructed?
Oh, for us right now, all that we want is the road to be fixed. Yes, we also appeal to the MP and the MCE about the other roads from Nyanyano to Kojoku, from Fifi Junction to Fifi inside, and many other roads linking in the community. So we expect that, yes, in our palace, in our local palace, they say that a bit the way no more, and I would be a So meaning that as we have some in our mouth, the preparing of the new one will be much more easier. So we're looking out for the government to do all of that for us. We believe with this government, the way things are going on, in fact, we are very happy and we know they will deliver.
Interesting.
And we know they're going to do whatever we need in our community. Yes.
As a traditional leader, have you met with the contractor on site, and have they given any assurances to you in terms of timelines, right, and even deadlines?
Yes. As for timeline, they have not been able to tell us now, but we've met with the contractor. As I speak with you now, they are on the road, working on the road, and we've given them a place to stay for them to have. I mean, a place to sleep where they will sleep, and we've given them all of that. We provided them with all of that, free of charge. Yes.
Yeah, serious.
Yes.
So that they're able to. Yeah.
That's actually what I was going to ask you about, your own contribution as traditional authorities in the area to assist them.
So if you ask, I didn't wait even for you to ask.
Exactly.
The point is,
I think it's the excitement.
Yes, we're giving them a place for them to sleep, for them to stay. Free of charge. In order for them to be able to construct the road for us. Yes, we've done that for them.
Very well. And the level of engagement with your subjects, the residents of the area, many a times we see that construction works begin and some people feel they will be affected, and so there's some level of resistance. What kind of conversation or engagement have you had with your residents for them to understand and allow the contractors the room and space to complete their work?
Okay. Yeah. So as for that one too, we've also done that. And in fact, if they will pull down the palace for the road to be constructed, if the palace is in the road and they want the palace to be removed, for the road to be constructed, we will let them remove the contract. That meaning that every obstacle on the way, I mean, we've talked to the subject, everyone is happy. Everyone is happy. Except that, in fact, if you have something by the roadside and, they pulling it off, sometimes you may have something to say. But hey, most of the our people are happy. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, we're excited just as you are, and we pray and hope that the construction will meet the standards and will be completed in time to help ease the pressure and the challenges of the good people of Nyanyano. Nana, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you too. Thank you, ChannelOne News, and then we also thank you for City News for carrying the news item and then seeing it done as we all wanted. We are grateful to City News.
Thank you so much. And our correspondent in your area, Akusiado. He's doing a fantastic job. He's the one that brought us the report. So
yes. Ado has been very good. He has been doing a wonderful job. In our praise.
Very well.
I hope one of these days he will just he will invite me to come to your studio and then we have some chat.
No problem, Nana.
Bro, Nana, thank you so much. Thank you so much, and we wish you well.
I don't remember the last time a conversation on roads was being had, and the persons affected were so excited and optimistic. It feels like
it tells you how long they have suffered the burden of a bad road, and how much of an impact it has had on them.
Because the contract, according to Akwesi, was initially awarded in 2016-17. So a whole 2 terms of a government passed. They didn't really see much action, and now, so you can clearly tell that the excitement is palpable. They are really in high hopes. But like I said, this country this country has a way of breaking people, right? It can lift your hopes, and we hope that is not the same with this administration. Because I was making a point that once we enter an election year, everything changes. All the fantastic things we knew about economic planning and economic management is thrown away. And expediency becomes the norm.
There's an election to win.
Exactly. But we don't build countries like that.
Exactly.
And that is why people are of the view that maybe, just maybe, this whole 4-term tenure thing, it will not work. In our case, right? Because, for example, if you go to some communist states like China, right? They have a long, the president is there, he knows that at least his next 10 years is secured. So they can take long-term measures.
True.
Some of them sometimes or often at times are even very unpopular, but they know what the benefit is for the long term. So they weather the storm, they break through the initial resistance, and they do what they have to do, and 10 years later the overall interest of the country is realized because of that decision they took. But here we start, Charlie, we do the thing, then by the 3rd year, the primaries are being held. Then you are being questioned. Charlie, they removed my container. Hey, then this I'll do vex. Journalists to take microphone there, and then people tear the president. They'll dress him proper. Then now they'll go to cabinet. They'll show the videos. Hey, Charlie, people are saying this. Then this one too. He said, hey, project affected persons.
Then the knee-jerk reactions.
Oh, the MP2 send proposal. Hey, my seat is on the line. Because some other person too is opposition member is cutting his legs. So by the time we arrive at the conclusion, and okay, then we'll hold this.
And everything is derailed.
Then everything
retrogression.
So by the time we come back, we are coming back to square one, and this is even like wasting state resources because we would have started some work, you know, consultation fees.
Yeah.
They even have what they
Feasibility
call
studies are actually very expensive.
All of that are thrown away, and we start afresh.
Yeah.
There's even something they call mobilization. So monies are paid just to gather equipment and bring. You know, like we need a more structural shift from the norm. You know, and I hope that this government is minded to do that. They have enormous
It's important, and I feel sometimes you might have the right intention behind a policy, but the implementation or execution is where the problem is.
Right.
And I feel we do wholesale developments. So I have this thing I say that we develop without planning.
True.
And it's reflective in so many instances. Listen, we've concretized everywhere in this country, and now we are containerizing the concrete.
Yeah. So you feel like Nimoy Thompson and his team, Dr. Nimoy Thompson,
I feel
they have a role to play in this.
And they are playing that role. Listen, you go to the office and the document gathering does.
Because it's not documents.
Because political parties are not binded. And so political parties will subject that document to their own political jargon. Before implementation.
To be fair, political parties also run on ideologies, right?
But political parties run our countries based on party manifestos.
Yeah, but
that's where the problem is.
The manifestos is built on their ideologies, assuming they even run on ideologies in the first place. And those ideologies, you know, dictate to them how a country should run. So if you can't, everybody has a plan on how they want to develop Ghana.
You know how many development plans we've had since Nkrumah? Nkrumah 7-year development plan. Vision what?
So maybe
40-year development plan.
So maybe
where are all those
So
plans?
maybe the NDPC should have a more collaborative approach.
Perhaps it does, but it doesn't have the authority to insist.
We can't work with perhaps.
But we can also work with maybe.
So they should tell us whether they engage the two.
They should do.
Political spectrum.
If they were not, why are they in existence? A party would have taken them out.
Yeah, but I see maybe too also the politicians are at fault. Because if
Very
they,
well.
you know, if they sound like they are
hold on. Let's speak to.
We should have this debate because I'm really interested in what you
mentioned that the enclave where this road construction is happening is one of the areas where there are a number of hospitality facilities, and some of these facilities are one of the most affected by poor roads in the area. We have a manager of Tinarikas Lodge, Ferdinand Tekon, is joining us. Ferdinand, good morning. Hello, sir. Hello, good morning. Hello? Very well. We'll work the lines and bring him back on so that he brings the economic impact aspect into perspective.
I'll love to listen to a business owner on how this will impact them. But back to my point, National Development Planning Commission, NDPC. You make a fantastic point about their role in this. You know, but I'm also saying that in the long term, they need to work with the political parties because see, Nana, our Fourth Republic has taught us. The history has shown us that it is two political parties that will win an election. Until such a time we see it. But I even think that we should go beyond the two and incorporate political parties. Maybe they are doing it, but we don't see them. You know, but if they bring it out there, like imagine the National Development Planning Commission holding a big conference. I'm not saying the conference is the answer to all of this, but like we should see, televise it on the major TV channels. This is the policy proposal. This is what's
done. See, their policy proposals are launched by presidents who belong to political parties.
But what's the level of engagement from political parties?
Stakeholder consultations are held. Government appoints people to go and sit there.
See,
and be part of the contribution
I don't want
towards
to push this too much, right? But for example, take the Constitutional Review Committee. You can't fault their work in terms of, in fact, they didn't even go to every region. But people are quick to cut them some slack because we saw the level of engagement in terms of the work.
This is a committee or a commission that was instituted for a specific job. For a period.
But the NDPC also have a particular job.
Is an established state institution.
So
hold on.
I think that they can adopt
let's speak to a business owner and then we'll come back and we'll continue this conversation. Ferdinand Tekon is the manager of Tinarikas Lodge. Ferdinand, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you so much for joining us. as a business owner, we want to know your own perspective regarding a poor road that leads to your place or business operation, a place of operation, and what the impacts have been over the period.
Thank you very much, Nana. So, with the deplorable state of the California, as a business, there's a lot of that is created on the road. And this that actually infiltrates our facility. That is the first thing. You know, as a lodge, we have these white linings that we use. We have duvets, we have bed sheets that we use, and white towels. And so most of the time, these that make, cleaning work and housekeeping work very difficult for our staff. You have to spend a lot of money to buy detergent, almost soap and other things in order to be able to keep the facility clean. Secondly, with the nature of the road too, that does sometimes affect the machines that we use. We have sound systems that we use for our event center. And so most of the time it enters into the sound system and then causes breakdown as well. But the most important one is that when it rains, there is a lot of mud. And customers who are coming to the facility would step through these places and walk into the facility, making the place, very unsanitary and then uncomfortable for others. And due to the nature of the road, when it rains, a lot of taxi drivers don't ride the road anymore. So you see that customers would want to come, but then there are no taxis to ferry them to the facility. Even we as a business, when we go to town to go and then do purchases, you have to struggle to get a car here. They will tell you that their last stop is around Paradise, where the road was constructed to. And so if you want them to bring you beyond that point, it means that you have to pay extra fare, or you have to charter them individually. They are not usually willing to come. And so these are some of the challenges that we face. Beyond that, we also have to look at the health issues, because staying or working in an environment which is full of dust, you are inhaling this, you'll be having headaches, some people also have allergies. It's not just us. There are working days around us, and these people are losing businesses because who will come and then wash their cars, and then within the next minute, the cars will become dirty again. More food vendors that operate around the road have also been affected by the poor nature of the road. And so that is what we have been going through over the years.
Are you able to quantify or give us an idea of the cost burden it places on you? Because if you take just apart from the challenge to patronage of your facility, maintaining the facility itself will now come at an increased cost burden. Are you able to give us an idea of what this is?
Okay, I don't have the numbers currently.
Yeah, not necessarily the actual figures, but paint the pictures to us.
For the whole month. And so what you can easily notice is that the amount of cleaning detergents that you use have increased by twice what you were using previously.
Exactly.
Because right now, if you were using, let's say, a gallon of POP, and you were using a stack of Omo and then other detergents for your cleaning work, right now it's not enough. The housekeepers will come and tell you that due to the dusty nature of the road, they need more to be able to work to keep the place, under sanitary or hygienic conditions. And so you have to supply them because they need to do their work. But I can't actually give you the numbers as I can see it.
But clearly, you are spending more now to keep your facility intact.
Exactly. That is what is happening. Because with that level, most our facility, most of the things we use are white. The bed sheets, the duvets, the pillowcases are white in nature. Our building, the interior has been painted white.
Okay.
And so a customer would come to the facility and would complain that the place is not clean. It isn't that the housekeepers have not done their job. But after they are done and have left, the amount of dust on the road enters into the, and so the person who walks in and then touches the duvet and tell you that this duvet has not been washed. But that is not the case. The duvet has actually been washed, they've been changed. But then the dust that have entered the rooms and have settled on it makes it look that way. And so you are forced to change it and then go and then wash it. And you are using electricity.
Exactly.
You are using detergent to do all of these things. Even with the interior, the painting is white. And so something that you could have painted twice a year, now you have to do that maybe 3 or 4 times to be able to keep the place under the same hygienic condition that is required by the tourism authority.
I was going to ask that you talk to us about utilities, water and electricity, but it looks like you've touched on it. So your consumption rate is also going to go high.
Definitely.
Yes.
Interesting.
For instance, with water, the Nyanyano Road, we don't have access to safety supply of water. Now it is better than before, but most of the times we are they schedule us. So maybe 2 weeks, those of us on the left side of the road will have access to water, and maybe 2 weeks, those on the other side would also have access to water. We had previously light challenges, and this week alone we had light off like twice. And for a facility like that, anytime the light goes off, you have clients. It means that you have to put on your generators or your mini plant, and that is cost to fuel. It means that your maintenance of the generator too is also going to go high. So it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with.
Ferdinand, can you just finally, before you take leave of us, and thank you so much for your time this morning, but before you take leave of us, can you create a picture for us, right? Prior to the commencement of the construction, do you get a sense that the state of the road has affected your business in terms of patronage, right? Do you get a sense that if the road is fixed, more people will come to the lodge and probably spend more?
Okay. I earlier stated that when it rains, the road become muddy. The potholes on the road widen due to the erosion that is taking place. And so taxi drivers are not willing to ply the road. It means that customers who want to patronize our facility will be stranded.
All right.
Personally, last year there was a heavy rain, and then a lot of cars were not coming. I had to walk from Kakraba all the way to the facility, and that is me being a staff. So if I were a client who is trying to patronize the facility, I wouldn't go through this hassle to come and then patronize your lodge or your event center. I would go elsewhere, and that is taking these benefits away from us as a facility. That's what's happening. Secondly, we operate a mini bar. We were previously doing an outer bar and an inner bar. With the outer bar, with the nature of the road, you can't set up the place for people to sit. People have allergies. People are health conscious, and we don't want to sit under a facility where they are exposed to a lot of that. When you put something outside for 5 minutes, and then you go and take that thing, you see how dusty it is. So it tells you how much of inhalation of the dust customers will be dealing with, even the staff. You get it. And so certainly these are all costs to the business. Even if you are a private, if you have your own private car, how much does it cost to maintain your car? Some of our customers have personally stopped coming here, and when you ask them, they will tell you it's because of the road. Twice a customer came here, and then his car got broken down. And so he told us that in as much as he loves our facility, the cost to his car would stop him from patronizing us. And he is not alone in this. So that is what is happening. When the road is fixed, access to our facilities and other facilities that operate within the Nyanyano enclave would be easier. More cars would be flying the road. Tourism is going to improve within this particular place. And then the whole community is also going to benefit as well. The town needs to open up. But if the nature of the road is so poor that people are not willing to come, how much more tourists? So
Interesting.
that is what is going on.
All right. Thank you for your time, Ferdinand Tia Kon, and we also wish your business well during these tough times. The good news is that the road is going to be fixed. We don't know how long it will take, but hopefully soon enough, so your business can, get back to life. Not only you, but all the others along the stretch who have been affected by this. But I'll just wrap up to say I believe strongly that, it's great news that government is doing this. Point one. Point two, we need to commend them to do more. Point three, we need a clearly defined financial model to finance road projects in the country that is being spearheaded by government. Point four, government should be mandated to ensure fiscal discipline and also work towards the timely completion of all of these projects, irrespective of whether we're in a campaign mood.
You want roads fixed, and yet you want fiscal discipline.
It's wishful thinking, maybe, but I believe that we can do it if we want to do it. And point five, the National Development Planning Commission should be minded to enforce some of these things, right?
They don't have the authority to enforce anything.
Then we need to revise their mandate.
Should be minded to implement the plans of the NDPC. That's how you should be. The call is to be to the politicians when they get power.
And the NDPC then should be very collaborative.
Who says they are not?
I don't see them.
Dude, their work is to formulate the policies based on the research and the assessment of our country.
The National Review Commission, their work was also to formulate proposals.
They have formulated and presented.
Yes.
Who says the NDPC has not presented?
I'm talking
I
about,
keep telling you that their plans are launched by the authorities
I'm not even talking about
successive governments have seen their plans and ignored.
I'm not talking about the enforcement.
Did we not see Vision 2020 in this country?
I'm saying that.
Did we not see the launch of the 40-year development plan? There's even Nkrumah's 7 years development plan. If we should go back and implement just 4 years of that development plan, the plan, we'll be rubbing shoulders with the Singapore's.
Yeah, people have differing opinions on Nkrumah.
That is my opinion.
Fair enough. But again, my point is that the kind of exposure and publicity Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh brought to the Constitutional Review Commission, right, or committee, we want to see the same.
You know why?
Why?
You know why?
Because it's a Constitutional Review Committee.
No, you know that this is instituted by a politician, a president who had just come into power. It's one of the things he's doing.
Was a president who also brought the NDPC.
It's an establishment. This committee's work is done. They are done.
Yeah, but I'm
the
just saying,
NDPC is still working. No, you don't get. There was political charade around that whole
I get that
thing.
One is a state institution and one is a temporary creation.
Thank you.
I'm only saying that the kind of exposure and publicity the CRC got, maybe the NDPC in their work can do that. And see,
the CRC did not get that exposure on their own. The politicians gave it that exposure.
But I
the NDPC is doing work year in, year round.
I also think the people on the committee, the CRC, also brought. So, for example, H. Kwesi Prempeh, even my friend Noah Damte, who's a lawyer and was added onto it.
Who has so many suits in court.
Yes, he did some work. So my point is that I'm coming. My point is that I don't even think that the Dr. Nimoy Thompson is not doing a great job. I have so much respect for him.
Guy.
He's doing, every now and then he's on a point of view with Bernard. Yeah. But I'm only saying that their approach should be more encompassing. We should see more. It's a debate that we can have for a long time.
Well, we can have these debates all day.
Shout outs to all my... Anyway. Guys, we'll take a quick break. When we are back, we have an exciting performance for you right here on Breakfast Daily. You don't want to miss out on this. Don't go anywhere.